What's up, everyone? It's Otaku Tavern back at you with another video. If you like the type of content that I create, make sure you like, subscribe, click the bell notification so that you do not miss a video. Hope everybody is doing really well today or tonight, whatever time frame it is where you're at. And we're going to get into this. So, what I want to talk about tonight is, like the title of this video says, grow up, no. Why our hobbies come first in the otaku life. And this one, I'm going to kind of break some things down. And we're going to really just talk about this. So, anyway. So, you know, a lot of people you may meet, or the so-called normies, as you would say, right? As people would call them.
Team to win this one.
And
I'm going in.
These people will tell you to grow up, go touch grass, go get some sunlight. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure these people get sunlight. I'm pretty sure they do. As far as touching grass, bro, like, these people act like that just working is everything. Like, that's all that matters in life. And it's like, you know,
White fox on the hunt.
it's like, nah, we would rather be a neat, bro. I would rather be a neat.
Get ready.
And,
so,
you know, so many other otakus would rather be a neat as well.
Better at keeping things classified.
Not their fault.
You know, I watch quite a bit of channels on YouTube that talk about being a neat.
We should talk when this is done.
And
I could use someone like you.
The battle starts.
I may do a video someday, kind of breaking down a little bit of the stuff about neats.
All you need to do is
But
capture the mission area. Got it?
anyway,
I bet saving the multiverse will look great on the old
one person who says stuff like this is like Andrew Tate, like this toxic guy, this alpha male bullcrap, right? Like, this guy even went as far as to say is like the reason why people play GTA 6 is because they're poor in real life and they can't get like a bunch of women, they can't get like clubs, a bunch of fancy cars, stuff like this. And it's like, you know, sure, this guy may have the clubs, he may have the fancy cars, but I can tell you this now, he ain't got no real good women in his life. I'll tell you that right now, because the only women he's got in his life is maybe like an escort, right? Like, other than that, he ain't ever had a good woman. He ain't touched a good woman with a 6-foot pole, right? And, you know, there's so many other people like this. Like, you notice a lot of these people that say this stuff, their marriages are gosh awful. That, like, you know, the woman's in total control of them. They're total simps. They answer this woman's beck and call no matter what. And it's like, you know, yeah, we ain't gonna do that, you know. We don't care about, like, conforming to society. We don't care about putting back into a society, you know, that doesn't like us. I mean, that's the same thing with people like Access Men, right? You know, Access Men, why would they put back into a society who hates them? Why would they do that? That would be a very dumb thing to do. Like, and it's like, you know, you are not forced to do it. And it's like, you know, nah, we ain't gonna do it, bro. Like, but, yeah, don't let these people really, don't even pay attention to what they say, really, honestly. Just really neglect these people, because, like, these people are total clowns, right? You know, these people, they dislike everybody that's not like them, obviously. They're the types of people, they just wish that everybody in the world was the same, just was a slave to work all the time, had the same mindset as them, same hobbies, like going and spending a bunch of money on a woman because you don't know what else to do with it, right? And it's like, I don't know, bro, that's kind of really pretty pathetic if you ask me, but like, anyway, man, like, it's like, nah, we ain't gonna do that, and, you know, here's the thing, though, you know, it's also better than most relationships you'll have, too, like, you know, you got these women saying, oh, they don't want gamers because they're wanting a man to just provide for them non-stop, provide everything they ever could possibly want in life, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, anything. I don't care if it's an expensive bag, whatever they want, whatever they demand, you are supposed to cave and do it, is their mindset. And, you know, we do not have that type of mindset, obviously. And, you know, men, if you ever encounter a woman like this, just run. I'm not going to talk too much about this because I did a walk with Luke today. I have not uploaded it yet, but I kind of talked a little bit about this in the video for a specific reason. You'll see the topic when it'll be uploaded tomorrow. It's like, you know, you gotta stop caring what these people say, bro. Like, whatever it is that they say, bro, don't even matter. Like, you know, as long as you got like a roof over your head, as long as you got like, regardless of however you get your income, you know, say you work a McDonald's job or a grocery store job, you're on unemployment, food stamps, Social Security, whatever, bro. Like, I don't really care. You know, you're doing your part. It doesn't really matter, you know, what these people say, what they think or whatever. But, like, you know, the thing is like, you know, most of these people, they are not loyal anyway. They do not really care about you. You know, they're miserable. They want you to be miserable. You know, they post this big lie on social media that they're just happy-go-lucky all the time. And it's like, these people deep down inside are absolutely miserable. Because, you know, especially like the middle class, they want to claim, oh, you know, nope, I'm got everything going for me, my life's perfect. Bro, I can tell you this now. Their marriage is not like you think it is. They are not, like, getting any from their wives hardly, you know, unless they're having a kid. Or, you know, they're always spending all this money on vacations because the woman keeps asking, like, asking all this stuff. And it's like, you know, I mean, I could go on, bro, but it's like, you know, that's not really a real relationship. That's not a real marriage, bro. Like, I mean, I could understand traveling, like, sometimes, bro, but, like, I don't know, man. It's like, they're traveling to gossip with other middle class, though. That's why they're doing it. And, you know, this is honestly really pathetic, but, like, you know, see, we're not like this. We don't care about the gossip. We don't care about, you know, the politics. We don't care about all this other crap. We just don't care, bro. Because, I mean, people like that, you know, society rejects pretty much anyone who pretty much aren't like the middle class. Like, you know, and it's like, you know, you got a lot of, like, how do I say this?
Get that vehicle moving
people who claim to be like an otaku but really aren't. You know, I've seen a lot of groups like this on Facebook, and it's like they work more than they do their hobbies, bro. Like that's not a real otaku, bro. That's just, you know, conforming to the system. Like, I mean, I get it, you gotta put stuff on the table and stuff, but like, you know, you'll hear like the, oh, I'm an otaku, I've watched like a couple of anime. Like, bro, that's not an otaku, bro. Like, you know, an otaku is someone who like has watched hundreds of animes, if not thousands, right? Or and plays like anime games, other like Asia games, right? You know, might even read manga, like, you know, it's all of it, bro. Like, you know, but you know, the thing is you know, these people that aren't loyal, stop worrying about them, bro, because you know, the anime and like the anime games and stuff, it doesn't change on you, bro. Like, it, you know, they're pretty much a constant, like, consistent source of comfort, loyalty, and peace, right? You know, people come and go, bro. It's like people come and go. You know, people throw people away for no reason, like just the littlest reason. You don't do something they want. Okay, never text me again. You know, or they even if you don't even do anything, like, people are just so toxic, they won't even. They just get rid of you for no apparent reason, just because they're bored, right? And it's like, you know, this is just pathetic, honestly. Like,
Okay, now the claws come out.
because, you know, here's the thing, like, a lot of these people say like they're middle class, or whoever says this, right? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this now. They're always like talking about this stuff. Oh, go touch grass. Well, I tell you what, if you lost everything, right? Everything you so-called work for that you don't really truly own, by the way, like, you know, it's going to, it's not going to end well for you. And what I mean by this is the people that you swore up and down were good people that, you know, gossiped with and everything, now you become the topic of gossip. Now you become the outcast. Now you become the one that they shun because you messed up. You messed up. You lost everything, right? And that's it. So it's like, you know, nah, bro, that's not gonna happen. I would rather be a neat, bro. Like, I don't even care what how people view me. I don't really care. You know, that does not affect me whatsoever. That does not affect you whatsoever. So, you know, don't worry about it. It's like, you know, the idea of growing up to these people, if you when you go to school, right? The two things you're taught, especially as a man, is to conform, obey, and get ready to do slave work. And, you know, obviously, slave work you're doing more labor than you're really getting paid for. You're doing all this labor for pocket change. Regardless of like your job or whatever, like, it doesn't really even matter, bro. Like, you're still getting paid pocket change compared to like the elites at top, like Donald Trump and all these political people. And you know, these people are the rich people, right? Like, you know, really, to be honest with you, you think people like you know, Katy Perry or some singer, honestly, they're poor compared to the politicians at top. I'm going to tell you that right now. And they've got money, bro. Like, they're poor, though, compared to these politicians. But, like, yeah, it's like, you know, it's just,
Get ready.
is touching grass or sitting in a bar really more productive than pretty much mastering a game or experiencing like a 50-episode arc? And it's like, no, it's not, bro. It's like, nah, bro, it's not. Like, I would...
No offense.
The battle starts
I would
in
never want to have this type of mindset. You know, I would rather spend
2, 1.
5 hours, 8 hours, whatever, in a world I actually enjoy and belong in and have peace in, than even 1 hour, 30 minutes, or even 5 minutes trying to fit into like a normal social setting that feels completely empty, bro. Like, that's how we are as an otaku. That is exactly how we are, you know. And it's like, you know, that's how we're going to stay. We do not care, bro. And it's like, you know, we're not going to change this at all. And yeah, just get over it, because it's not going to change. It's just not going to change. We're not interested in changing this, right? And you know, modern life is really loud and stressful with all these people like this, you know, and anime games and stuff, other games and stuff, like that's where you that's where you actually find peace and recharge, bro. Like, you know, it's not necessarily even escaping reality. It's choosing a reality that actually rewards your time and energy, bro. Like, you know, and it's like I would rather be on the grind on the game, bro. You know, like, I would rather understand power scales. I would rather learn combos. I would rather see a journey to the end. You know, I would rather do that. I would rather grind. Honestly, I would rather grind on Dark Souls with my eyes closed, bro. That's honestly what I would rather do. Like, I'm not even joking. And, you know, there's more growth in mastering a difficult game than in following social rules that just doesn't even make sense. That are just stupid, that are dumb, and, you know, that's just a bunch of BS to begin with. So it's like, you know, we're just not interested in that, and yeah, it's just not gonna happen. Like, we ain't changing, bro. So, you know, and another thing too is, like, you know, a lot of these people's journeys, like, they're not even that interesting. Like, I mean, sure, I mean, when somebody gives a testimony about how they found God, you know, give or take, it depends, it's interesting. You know, I've been through some boring testimonies that just was like, I don't really see how this is a testimony, but, you know, I'm not one to question it. But, like, you know, because I just have to take the word for it. But, like, you know, it's like, you know,
Judge, jury, executioner!
I don't... I'm not saying that testimonies are bad by any means, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying some of them can be quite boring, especially if it's like, oh, well, I was a drunk and then I found God. It's like, bro, that's so plain, bro. That's like, you know, I mean, I'm glad for you. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad for you, and I'm happy, you know, that you changed. But it's like, you know, I've heard that so much, God for it. But it's like, you know, I don't know. I just want to hear something more exciting, I guess. Like, more exciting about how, like, maybe you was like an ex-mafia boss or something, and then, like, you found God or something, right? Like, I don't know, bro. Like, it gets kind of tiring, I guess, hearing the same thing, you know. But, you know, I praise God that they did find solace, peace, and comfort in the Lord, you know. But, like, you know, a lot of people don't like their testimonies either. But, oh, well, that's not true, you know, because they don't fit into the middle-class social norm, right? And it's like, you know, nah, you know, in a real world, you know, in this world, you know, people are very fighty, right? They're very fighty, And, you know, they change, they leave, or they expect you to be someone you're not, you know. But in these worlds, you know, the loyalty is baked into the DNA. Like, you know, when I pick up a controller and start an episode or a game, I'm entering a space where the values actually mean something. Like, you know, even people, listen, even people within, like, a lot of times in Christianity even, like, they say they have all these values, but it's like, you know, you find out by their actions they really don't. And, you know, it's like,
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
the thing is like, you know, they think just because you're physically active all the time that, oh, it's just, no. That's stupid. You know, they tell us of, like, touching grass as if the outside world is some magical cure to every person's problems. But if the outside world is just noise, judgment, and shallow interactions, why would I trade my sanctuary for that? Why would I trade my peace for that? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with going outside, but, like, you know, sure, you know, I could understand, like, doing a little bit of work or whatever, but it's like, you know, doing that all the time, bro. Nah, bro, I'd rather be a neat. I'd rather be a neat. And, we don't care what you call us. You know, you say, oh, we're lazy. Well, most of you are lazy. Doing paperwork on the computer, that's kind of lazy. You're sitting down. You're not being productive. You're sitting on your ass, right? You're not really doing much. You know, doing paperwork, that's not working. You know, like a lot of these people think. And it's like, that's what they want to do, bro. They want to sit on the computer and do a lot of paperwork. That's therapists, caseworkers. That's what they prefer doing, is sitting on the computer doing paperwork. And it's like, you know, it's very hypocritical, but, like, at the same time, it's just stupid. But, you know, another thing, too, is, like, you know, my growth, you know, happens when I'm grinding maybe for a platinum trophy, bro. My growth happens when I'm watching an episode, when I'm playing the game, you know, or I'm reading the word, or I'm spending time with friends, you know, or a spouse or something, bro. That's when the growth happens. And it's like, you know, maybe understanding, like, a complex character's, you know, motives. You know, not when I'm forcing myself to fit into a world that don't speak my language, man. And it's like, you know, just not going to do it, bro. And another thing, too, is, like, you know, they act like that just doing all this gossip, socializing is the key to a happy life. And it's like, you know, who wants to talk to a bunch of people like that? The more people, listen, I'm going to tell you, the more people you have, the more snakes you have in your group. I'm going to tell you that right now. The more people you have, the more snakes you have in your life. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you do not believe that, then you are crazy, because that is the way the real world works. And, you know, but let's just be real here. Most of these interactions are surface-based level noise, right? They're just noise. You know, I could spend 4 hours in a world I actually care about, or 4 hours pretending to care about someone's weekend plans. Bro, I don't care about your weekend plans if you went to Dubai. I don't care about your weekend plans if you know, worked all day or had a cookout. Bro, I don't care. I'm not interested, bro. I don't really care. That's not my language. You know, I'm not going to trade my passion for politeness. I'm not making the trade, bro. I ain't going to do it. Jeff is so adorable. But I'm not going to do that, bro. I mean, you'd have to be crazy to do that. You know, it's like the thing. You know, this is more than just a hobby. It's a passion. It's your safe space. It's your things that, you know, make you feel alive, bro. And, you know, life is too short. It's like, you know, there's a book, it's called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And, you know, one of the things, about this palliative nurse, I've talked about this book before on the channel. It's about this palliative nurse, and she spent years, 10, 20 plus years, right, with people in their last moments, people who were dying, okay? People who do this, they know them more than anybody on earth does, okay? And, you know, even the Joker kind of said this, even in The Dark Knight, and it's freaking true, bro. But, you know, it's like, you know, a lot of these people, what they're going to say on their deathbed is, oh, I wish I didn't work so hard. I wish I didn't try to live up to someone's standards, and I wish I'd allowed myself to be happy and true to myself. You know, that's two of them right there from the book. And, you know, they're all going to say that because they're going to die and be like, well, I worked all my life and I don't own nothing. I don't have nothing. You know, because it's like, what it is they want the status of the world. That's what they want. They want so badly to think they're going to be remembered for these low-end, white-collar, blue-collar jobs, right? Like, you're not going to be remembered, bro. You're easy replaceable. If you die, bro, you're replaced, if not in the same day. Like, you know, they're not going to remember you 10 down the years. Oh, you remember Johnny, bro? Like, he was the best worker we had. Bro, no, that's not going to happen. If you think that's going to happen, then you are crazy. Like, that is not going to happen. You are easy replaceable. And if these people have to know this deep down, that or they just either don't care or just don't believe it, right? And it's like, the only way you're going to be remembered like that is if maybe you were a singer, maybe like a talk show host, you know, an actress, like a huge like American actress or something like.
Hunt resumes.
Take like Audrey Hepburn, right? She's still remembered to a degree by quite a bit of her fans, you know, and you know she's been gone for a while, you know, quite a long time, and it's like, you know, these people are not like that, so they're not going to be. They're crazy, bro. They're honestly crazy. But anyway, you know, in this space we don't feel like strangers, bro. We can connect to things. And another thing is they think everything is about growing up. Like I was saying. The only thing that, you know, you do when you're grown is work, 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 work. That's all. That's what you are taught. That is exactly what you were taught. When you're in adulthood, it's nothing but working. The only fun you get to have is on vacation when you go and travel because some woman is forcing you to spend a bunch of money. And it's like, you know, yeah, we're good, bro. We're good. You know, we would rather stick with women who aren't like this anyway. Women that speak our language, honestly. Women that are good, decent women.
Okay. Now the
you know, and if you're a woman watching this, you'd probably rather have a good, decent man.
Goodbye.
You know, like. But yeah, you know, another thing too is like, if growing up means killing a part of myself that makes me happy, bro, like, no, I'm good, bro. I'm good. You know, the thing with the alpha male community is like, you know, this is why I relate to, you know, I'm a Sigma male, because Sigma males, they know what's up. This is the true, genuine male archetype. And it's like, you know, alpha males, they believe in killing the child inside of you. They believe in killing any sort of goofy, childish side of you. You got to be serious working all the time. And it's like, you know, that's a miserable existence, bro. That's miserable. But, like, let them learn it the hard way. Let them learn it the hard way, because they will, bro. I promise. They will. You know, if growing up, it means I have to destroy a part of me that makes me happy just to fit the mold, bro, Bye. I don't care about fitting the mold, bro. I don't care about putting back into society. I don't care about that. Society's never done nothing for me anyway. Like, why would I care about that? Why would you care about that? Why would people who aren't even otakus, who are access men, why would they care about this? This is just stupid. But they are trying to brainwash you into doing this just to get nothing in return, right? And, you know, politics tries to do a good job of brainwashing you like this, regardless of whatever side it is. But, you know, real people, a lot of them are just very disappointing. They're complicated. They're toxic, you know, and it's just, yeah, bro, I'm good. You know, I would rather, you know, have the friends I have now. I would rather, you know, these characters are friends, bro. They never leave you. They never betray you. It's like the waifus, bro. They never betray you. They never cheat. They never leave you. And it's like, you know, if that's who you want to be, bro, be it, man. Don't let these clowns tell you otherwise. You know, my hobbies to me are more important than whatever BS you got going on. That's why when I was talking about the other day, and I uploaded this video today, you know, about how they don't value your time. So say you got like this could be friend-wise, family-wise, marriage-wise, dating-wise, co-worker-wise, hell, even acquaintance-wise. Like, you know, but, you know, especially the dating and marriage-wise and friend-wise, but, you know, if they aren't trying to, you know, talk about with your hobbies and stuff, shut the door on them. Don't let them have that part of you. That part of you is too valuable for them. They don't deserve that part of you, right? You know, just because it ain't money, don't mean it's not valuable to a person. Like, hell, games can be sentimental to people. You know, anything can really be sentimental. I mean, they're sentimental to me, but like, anime is sentimental to me. Like, I could go on, bro. Like, a lot of things are sentimental to me. You know, I'm a sentimental person. And the sentimental people are usually the best kinds of people, you know. But like, yeah, you know, I don't think, you know, people should be giving up their hobbies at all. So, you know, that's like, you know, when I got married, well, you know, when I was going to get married, you know, before I did, you know, I told my wife, I'm not getting rid of the waifus for you. I'm not doing it. You know, that is a part of me. If you want me, then that comes with me. If not, bye. You know, like that's the way it works, bro. That's the way you gotta be. Same thing with you women, bro. Like, with you women, you know, like, say you have husbandos, you know, if that's a part of you like that, bro, say that comes with me. If you don't like it, then bye. You know, now if this was real people, obviously this would be a problem. You know, like guy friends and all this female friends and stuff, like, you know, that you're meeting up and talking to, like, you know, meeting up in person, like this stuff and all this. So, yeah, you know, but yeah, y'all, you know, this isn't going to be a super long video, but nonetheless, make sure you keep your hobbies, bro, because keep both of you, women and men, both keep your hobbies, man. If you're an otaku watching this, obviously, keep your hobby. Don't give it up. That's your safe space. But yeah, anyway, you kind of gotta lay the groundwork down, y'all. You really do, because you gotta let them know, hey, my hobbies are this important to me, and if you don't like it, who cares, bro? Your opinion don't matter, bro. Like, it honestly really doesn't, bro. I mean...
Oh, let's play a game!
Because, you know, the hobbies that most people have, I find are boring, bro. Wow, you go out and drinking and partying and clubbing. Bro, that's boring as hell. That's a crappy life. Wow, you go out gossiping, nosing around, getting in other people's affairs and business. Wow, that's pretty pathetic life you got there. Wow, you work, you know, freaking 18 hours a day. Congratulations, you are a slave. It's like, that's not really something to brag about, bro. Like, that's, you know, it's really not. Like, when you really think about it, get down to the nitty-gritty of it, it's not really something to be, like, happy about, bro. Like, your life is a poor, miserable existence at that point. But they'll never understand. But who cares? We don't need them to, so... Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and like and subscribe if you're new. If you got any other topics you'd like me to kind of talk about, feel free to comment them down below.
I've survived so much worse.
I mean, I have like a year's worth, but I don't mind taking things from others, like ideas that you got that you want to share, that you'd like me to talk about. That's what I meant, but yeah. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your night or your day, whatever. And yep, I will see you all next time. God bless you all, and peace.